In this video, we're going to quickly go over just a summary of each of the data containers and which ones to pick for your particular situation. So suggestions of which ones to use for certain different types of situations. So let's go over that. Okay, so we're going to go over the different data containers and which ones to pick in certain situations. So first up, we've got list. So you want to use a list when the data has like a natural order to it. That means that when you insert it in, you want to preserve kind of that order, or you want to have that order preserved and then make maybe changes to it. Also, you want to use a list when you want to update or alter the data during the program. So, for example, you want to sort it, or you want to remove items from it, or you want to add items to it. The primary purpose of this data structure is for iteration. So you're going to be iterating over this using for loops, most likely using for loops. You might be doing while loops, but most likely you're probably going to be doing for loops inside of there, either to create them or to read them and those types of things. Next up is the tuple. So tuples, again, natural order. So you want to kind of have a specific order that's to it, or it's in there, but you don't want to update or alter the data. So you want to keep and preserve that order and keep the contents in there, and you don't ever want them to change, because then you're going to you might, something bad might happen in there. So the primary purpose of this is also, again, iteration. You're going to be using for loops to kind of iterate through a dictionary and kind of do that types of things. Then finally, we have our dictionary. So use a dictionary when the data is going to be unordered. Like, you don't really care about the order, doesn't really matter. You don't care what order it gets put in or what order you read it out of. That's really not that big of a deal to you in there. You will need to update or alter the data inside of during the program. So that's another thing. But the primary purpose of this is data structure is looking up values for that. And so you're going to want to do that. Now, I will give kind of a caveat. Order may matter to you for a dictionary, but perhaps you want to order the keys. So you might create another tuple that sets up the order of the keys that you then access that dictionary that's in there. So that's kind of how you would kind of combine that. So create a tuple that says, okay, these are the keys and into which order the keys that I want to access, then use and iterate over those keys and read the dictionary. If that's what you kind of want to do, that's in there. So there's always ways kind of to get around it, but in general, use lists and tuples when you care about order, or you want to manipulate kind of that order. Use dictionaries when order doesn't really matter, but you want to be able to do kind of like this lookup type of thing, or do a little bit more complex types of stuff. So that wraps up this module. We talked about tuples, we talked about looping, we talked about lists and dictionaries. We covered a lot of ground in this one. This is going to be a lot of areas where you're going to want to just kind of explore and play around and kind of just do different things with them, because experience and practice is going to be the biggest thing for you to be able to do with this, in order for you to be able to gain a better understanding of the concepts with this. Great job making it through to this point. You're doing an amazing job, and I'm really proud of you for getting this far and pursuing further. You're really gonna I think start enjoying programming at this point, because this is where things start to come together. And as we start talking about functions and object-oriented programming and taking all these little bits that we've talked about and making them into bigger and bigger types of bits, it's just going to become so much more exciting. So can't wait to see you in the next module.